Welcome to 2025, where therapy costs €100 an hour, but you can process your trauma through a TikTok trend. So, one question: did we all just collectively give up on therapy and decided that TikTok is the real therapist and the real solution to get through our pain? Like, one second I'm watching a dog wear sunglasses, and the next thing I'm watching someone talking about their breakup trauma with Lana Del Rey playing in the background. Welcome back to my channel where we unpack Gen Z and Millennial chaos with lots of masala chai and existential crisis in our soul. Today's episode: Delulu is the Solulu. Why the internet has become our therapist. Girl dinner is a personality, boy math is a roast, and Delulu is the solution. And me, I'm just a millennial existential crisis in human form, armed with memes, Wi-Fi, and ungodly amounts of chai. We're not just online, we are emotionally outsourcing to the internet. Every meme, every viral sound, every clip that you watch on TikTok or on Instagram, every reel that you see, every 15-second joke about deep psychological pain. That's not just content, it's coping. Why this generation uses memes as therapy, as emotional literacy. Why do we prefer talking to ChatGPT as a therapist than calling our dad or our mom or actually going to real therapy? Why do we look at the current crisis, the emotional crisis, the love crisis, the existential crisis, the basic everyday crisis of the world, climate crisis, economical crisis, all kinds of crises through humor? How humor became collective therapy. This isn't just funny, it's real. Because maybe the internet isn't just a mess, maybe it's our mirror. Let's start with the queen herself, Delulu. Delulu is not just a trend, not just a word, it's become a lifestyle. Delulu is our generation's way of surviving. If I can't be mentally stable, I can at least be mentally delusional, but cute. It's the belief that your situationship actually has potential. Delulu is our inner child with a TikTok account and no insurance. It is the feeling of making ourselves feel, well, that it's delusional. Delulu is delusional. But many a times, why face the reality when you can just be a bit delusional and make yourself feel good about it? Psychologists might call it maladaptive daydreaming, but girlies on the internet, we call it survival. Because reality is expensive, but fantasy, that's a free trial. Delulu is a classic example of cognitive dissonance. When our brain can't cope with real-life disappointment, it creates a fantasy where everything is fine. And we're not just doing it alone, we're doing it together in the comments section. Like, yes, queen, he's gonna text you back. He's just healing. We've become a generation where to cope through things, we are accepting the fact that the reality outside is so crazy, it's so dark. We're all in a mess. We're all going through this crisis, so might as well make ourselves feel good about the crisis. Why do we have to face the reality when we can feel a bit delulu, a bit delusional through it? Or, obviously, there are repercussions to it. Obviously, we need to know what is fantasy and what is reality. But on the internet, we are just coping through it all through the Delulu stage. Girl dinner, boy math, and language of chaos. Let's talk girl dinner, aka half a block of cheese, 3 olives, and emotional resilience. It's not just food, it's a metaphor. Girl dinner is not a meal, it's a vibe. It's a cry for help, but with aesthetic lighting. It says, I've given all that I have to capitalism today, and this is what I'm left with. This is what I have today to offer to the world. It's not lazy, it's post-truth nutrition. It's post-modern nutrition. Boy math, well, that's when someone who's making 40K a year thinks he deserves a girlfriend like Margot Robbie, has a PhD, and cooks like Nigella, and doesn't ask, what are we? She's very emotionally detached as well. Boy math is when confidence outweighs arithmetic. And then we have girl math, which says, if I return something, I made money. If I pay with cash, it's free. Logic, who? These trends aren't just funny. We have figured out a way how to process chaos. We figured out a way, a coping mechanism on how we can navigate these existential dreads and crises that we've been thrown upon through humor, a shared language to laugh through pain. Let's talk about the psychological phenomenon. When we give our habits names, when we give our behaviors a name, it suddenly feels okay. Like calling our binge scrolling at 3 a.m. doom scrolling sounds cute now, right? It's like saying I'm not dissociating, I'm entering my soft girl shutdown mode. Labeling our emotional mess gives it structure. Naming emotions actually makes it feel lighter. Naming emotions actually makes the intensity of it reduce. We don't talk about our problems, we just meme them. Feeling emotionally stunted? Just post a meme about your trauma and wait for someone to comment vibe on it, or wait for someone to comment mood on it. Because we don't cry in therapy anymore. We tweet, is it just depression or I hate emails? Humor is a known defense mechanism. Freud called it sublimation. We turn our pain into jokes because it's the only way to feel something without falling apart. Modern version: can't afford therapy, so I talk to my followers like they're licensed professionals. Meme culture is equal to emotional literacy. Let's go deep for a sec. It's not that we are emotionally unavailable. We are just very fluent in memes. Initially, people would send text messages, people would write love letters to each other, people would send mail, people would send written letters through post, people would write. Nowadays, we just respond with emojis. We don't even respond with an emoji anymore. We just react to the message with an emoji to not be able to have that extra layer of text. And sometimes we just respond with memes and GIFs to messages, to arguments, through moods, through emotions. This generation, we've become very meme savvy, and through this meme culture, we are expressing ourselves, our pain, our emotions, and at the same time, memes have become a great form of art. It has literally become a medium that so many brands are looking at, grow their brands. You can look at examples of the Bali Metaverse Quest. They have grown literally and started an agency that is just catering to brands through memes, giving strategies on how they can bring up their brand, how they can boost their brand, how they can take their branding and everything to a different level through just using memes. Everyone is using memes because it's just become a code language between all of us. Instead of saying that I'm having a hard time, we just send a meme like me watching my life fall apart while I'm doing nothing about it. This is emotional shorthand. It's how we connect, how we share without oversharing, but technically, ironically, oversharing as well. And then you have a lot of emotional supporting memes where you can relate to each and every mood of these memes nowadays. This could be us, but you ghosted me after 3 months of emotional texting. Or my favorite, I'm not a hot mess, I'm a spicy disaster. Somewhere along the way, we stopped hiding our sadness and started curating it. We don't cry, we aesthetic cry. Had a breakdown at 2 a.m.? Cool. Add a retro filter to it. Post a blurry mirror selfie. Caption it. Felt cute, might emotionally spiral later. Now it's content. This ties into parasocial bonding. We feel seen when a stranger online puts our entire inner turmoil into a 7-second TikTok. We've swapped traditional language for irony. We've swapped arguments for sarcasm. Instead of I'm sad, it's me romanticizing my depression while staring into the empty window, watching the rain drop, and pretending I'm the main character. Because if you can't laugh at your pain, capitalize it. We've seen different aesthetics. We've seen different types of aesthetics. We've seen people romanticizing their pain. We've seen people romanticizing different stages and struggles of their life, which is great because that's your way of coping through it, which is great because we figured out a way to go through the mess as well. But at the same time, why just sit with the pain? If you're crying, then capitalize it. Well, this is what we've come down to this generation. Sad girl aesthetic and romanticizing pain and suffering. Welcome to Sad Girl Autumn or Winter or Summer or Spring, where we look glamorous but we cry in our car. Where you might cry in your car, but the lighting is really good. Where we wear smudged eyeliner not from a night out, but crying about a guy who doesn't even read books. We romanticize our sadness because it gives us aesthetic control over something that feels like a dumpster fire. We know that we are sad. We know that there are these messy emotions that we are feeling, and we don't really know how to cope through it. So aesthetically, when you put yourself out there, aesthetically, when you are working towards a medium to it, maybe you're creating a TikTok, maybe you're creating, a bit of, let's say, a meme about it, or whatever you're doing with that sadness, you're processing it in your own unique way. But when you're doing it aesthetically, you're keeping sure that at least you are pleased when you look at your sadness. It does sound a bit unusual and crazy, but you do feel a kind of a boost after you do it. This is performative vulnerability. Why journal your pain when you can heal with a TikTok, with lo-fi music, and fairy lights. This is performative vulnerability. It feels authentic, but actually it's filtered. And that's okay. We are curating our own healing, one aesthetic breakdown at a time. The internet said, feeling sad? Well, put a filter to it and monetize it. Let's address this. Let's address the main boss, oversharing. We used to cry in private, now we cry in reels. We used to talk about our pain to our best friend, but now we do a podcast about it. Algorithm knows more about our trauma than our best friend. And what can you do when therapy is $150 a session, but ChatGPT is free? We're not just replacing therapy with TikTok, but we're replacing it with AI. I use ChatGPT as a therapist many times. Everyone uses ChatGPT for so many different things, but as well as a therapist. You've cried in the shower, you've trauma dumped in note apps, and now you are talking to your best therapist as ChatGPT. ChatGPT be like, I'm sorry that you're going through this. Here are 5 grounding exercises, 2 quotes by Rumi, and an action plan for your side hustle. Therapist of the year. We laugh because we are scared. We meme because it's cheaper than meds. Humor is our collective nervous system going, I can't cry anymore, so let's just joke about it. So are we coping, are we healing, or we're just addicted to content or creating aesthetic-based content? Maybe all of the above. But if our coping mechanism comes with punchlines and community, maybe that's okay. Maybe Delulu is the real Solulu, or maybe it isn't. At the end of the day, we just want to be understood. Whether it's a therapist, whether it's a meme, whether it's a TikTok, or if it's just ChatGPT. Our generation is suffering through different types of crises, but we are being creative about it because maybe that's another way of processing the pain, another way of processing our emotions. Back in the day, during our parents' time, there was no therapy. Today, we are lucky to have therapy. And if you have the funds to it, if you have access to it, then everyone should go to therapy. But many a times, that is not an option for many. And that is why you process those emotions, you have those coping mechanisms through all of these things. One could say, you're not really talking about your real problems, you're just trauma dumping on TikTok. You're just talking about it on YouTube. You're just making an aesthetic meme about it. Well, maybe that is your way of coping with your problems. That is your way of coping with your crisis. I'm from India, so my parents' time there was no therapy, and she always told me, oh, depression? Well, we never had. Even when we had that, we would not talk about it, or we would just it would just be something that's a big word that we didn't even know existed. Because nowadays we are labeling so many things. She's like, anxiety? Of course we had that. But they would be like, oh, man bechain ho raha hai. You're feeling a little uneasy, so maybe just go and sit and have a nice cup of tea, or just go for a walk. टहलने जाना चाहिए. Go for a walk. We turn pain into punchlines, loneliness into likes, sadness into soft aesthetics. And of course, the internet is not a licensed therapist, but it is cheaper. And if you're spiraling, remember you're not alone. We are in this together. You're just in your Delulu era, and maybe sometimes that could be the Solulu. So are we delusional? Maybe. But we are also self-aware, hilarious, and emotionally literate about it. And we are trying our best in a world that's literally burning. We grew up on dial-up, witnessed 3 recessions, are literally banging on dating apps, and still have the nerve to dream, heal, and meme out loud. We've taken sadness and made it into an aesthetic. We've taken anxiety and turned it into astrology memes. We've taken generational trauma, turned it into a tweet, and have had other people connect with the tweet and resonate with what we are feeling. The internet isn't just where we scroll. Sometimes it's also where we cope, where we build new language for emotions where we never got taught on how to name them. And sometimes, yeah, we do romanticize our breakdown, just enough to survive it. So next time when you feel unhinged and dramatically feral, just know you're not broken. You're just healing in your own manner. You're just chronically online. And to be honest, same. But also, being so online is also not helping. There always has to be a balance between both. Like naming your 3 a.m. breakdown into sad girl hour doesn't just fix it. In some cases it does, but maybe somewhere it's still lingering. Posting a reel about your attachment style with the Lana Day filter in the background doesn't heal your attachment issues. Maybe we are healing, but maybe always we are not. Sometimes we are just numbing it with pain, humor, sarcasm, and overstimulation. We are emotionally exhausted, but we are still scrolling. We are lonely, yet we are connected. And that doesn't make us weak or broken. It just tells us that we are doing the best we can with what we have. In a world that's constantly asking us to perform more, but pretending not to feel too much. So know that you're not alone in this. Know that we are going through it. We are all in it together. And sometimes we all have our different ways of coping. We all have our different ways of processing. We all have our different ways of going through situations, handling crisis. So if what works for you at that time, do it. Continue it. Don't listen to other people of how you are handling it or surviving it, because you know what you're going through. No one else can tell you about that. But yes, know when you are numbing it, know when you are just putting it under the rug, and know when it's important to heal it with an expert, know when it's important to heal it with someone, know that you are online too much, recognize it, reduce your screen time, know when you're doom scrolling, understand it, catch you over there, put a time limit, and get out of it. Read a book, journal, talk to a friend, call your dad, call your mom, go for a walk, go out in nature, spend more time outside, make new friends, all of it. Do all of it at your own pace. But no, everything is about balance. Too much of something can be not very healthy as well. So remember, balance in the aesthetics is also important. Know when you're feeling lonely. Know when you are doing it for the likes. Don't do it for the likes. Do it to process your pain. Do it to process the emotion. Do it if it feels good. And when it doesn't, also know what is another medium you could use, or what is another person, a resource that you could go to figure it all together. Balance is the key, always. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and share, and let me know in the comments. Thank you.